Let's hear what it sounds like with the sound. But everything? No. All right, let's hear what it sounds like with the sound. All right, guys, so I believe we are live. I am currently looking for feedback on the sound if anyone is watching. The game sound should turn on right about now. I'm checking it myself, give it enough time. That's pretty loud. Did. Let's see how this works. What happened? Still quite loud. There we go. Let's test this out. See how it's going. Still quite loud. There we go. Let's test this out. Back to the game. Maybe I don't need to knock the audio down that much. I think I'll turn it back down to 40%. And we'll see how that goes. Here, will you listen to that? And at some point, here, let me get into the game some. Alright guys, so the sound balance, we're going to work on it as we go. I am going to jump back into long... Maybe? Oh look, yep, it looks like our progress was saved. Of course our power gave out. Dry mouth, peckish, we're pretty well rested, and there's about 13 hours of daylight left. So, let's see what the sound... Oh, it's... Yeah, wait till they're walking around here. Alright, so we're gonna keep peeking at things. Better eat stuff. Better familiarize my stuff with where things are. Sounds windy outside too. Let's take a peek.
You're getting feedback from those.
Okay, well, so, yeah. Alright, what's it like out here? Feels like negative 34 degrees Celsius, huh? Great, we're losing heat so fast. Must have been the wind chill. We're not into that. It's warm enough in here, it's not a problem. 2 degrees Celsius means we are warming up. And let us... Did we construct stuff? Got a line and a hook. 7 rifle ammo, sewing kit, simple tools, whetstone. Let's try and build some stuff. Pretty sure that's what I was up to. Old man's beard wound dressing. Oh, made with old man's beard lichen. That makes more sense than I originally thought. Torch, snare, hook, line, fishing tackle. We can try and make one of these. Alright, fishing tackle created. Anything else? We need some cured gut and cured deer hide. That looks nice. Wolfskin coat. Yeah, buddy. Handcrafted outer layer, warm, tough, and tells wolves and everyone else you are not to be trifled with. We will look like a badass. Note that it does take 25 hours to make. Ouch, better be well fed. Bearskin bedroll? Yeah, I want one of those. Survival bow. This is the first thing we're going for. Cured maple sapling and cured gut. Arrow shaft, cured birch. We're gonna have to find all these things. Simple arrow, arrow shaft, arrowhead, crow feathers. These are the 14 things that we can make. Let us observe. Our new fishing tackle. All right. We are thirsty, so let's drink. We are gonna nap. I think until the wind dies down. Well, let's have a snack since we went through all that trouble of waking up. You can't heat up energy bars, so we will eat them first. All right, passable. We're gonna chill out for, warm out for a bit while the wind rages outside. What do we have in here? What are those, cattail things? Cattail heads? How did our sewing go? Did we do all our sewing? I think we must have. Or we'd have multiples of some of these things. Let's rest an hour and see what it's like out here. Still windy. It's pretty nasty. So even though we lost power, this is pretty good. Anything, guys? All right. Doesn't sound nearly as windy. Our clothing is in better shape than ever before. We definitely need some cured leather. And I'm not sure where we'll find what we need to cure. But let's take a peek outside. The wind chill's not so bad, but the temperature is a bit tough. Not the best time to go exploring, but let's go fishing. There's at least one animal we can murder. Ooh, pleasantly the fire striker lets us infinitely attempt to. Can you repair the fire striker? I'm gonna go with no. You know, we can make breakfast once we're out there. Although we won't have a torch. Let's create a torch. Tinder, cattail head, tinder plug. None of these seem to affect our chance of doing anything. Let's use whatever we have least of. So we have fewer things in our inventory. Can't wait to be a master fire starter. The matches are the lightest, so we will use them last. If I remember to optimize. Nice. Stick. You want to burn it up. I want to cook. We're going to heat up these pork and beans. And then we're going to take a torch out. Looks like it only takes about 5 or 6 minutes. And that's enough to take a torch. Let's eat the pork and beans while it's hot. Have a drink. We're gonna head out. So note that clothing, our clothing is optimized against air temperature, not wind chill. This torch will help us scare off wolves, we hope. And we should definitely get some cattails. Also, we are warming up thanks to our heating of the pork and beans. If I had anything to hunt with, I might consider trying to take this deer. Keep an eye out for cattails. Looks like there's some over in that patch. If we remember, we'll come along the left side. Keeping an eye on ourselves. The hot food and drink helping counteract the snow. Alright, that deer flipped out. The torch probably gives us away a bit sooner. We will check the cattails over there because cattails provide food, tinder, all sorts of great stuff. Now, the one with a door that closes is probably the best. Well, the wind chill is only 1 degree in here. Oh, look, you can start off the torch. I kind of hoped I could. Let's go ahead and start this fire. Ooh, I should have started with the stick and then switched to adding this as fuel. I forgot that the sticks are much better for starting fires. Hopefully we luck out and this fire does take. Alright, that is the comforting sound of warmth being generated. Torch in. Nope. Keep just enough to make another torch if we need it. That should last 48 minutes. Let's use the hatchet to break the ice. Cleared a fishing hole. That took about 20 minutes. Nothing we can break down for fuel here. Only sticks to add in. And we have to fish for hours. Any of those count as fuel? I kind of doubt it, but... Nope. Okay, well, let's melt some snow. Purify this water. And fish. Let's fish for 4 hours. Hey, we got a lake fish. That looked like it took more than 1 hour. Hey, 2 lake fish. Uh-oh. Alright, we're starting to freeze. Oh, we lucked out. Alright guys, I am freezing, but I'm also the proud owner of 4 lakefish. The wood matches are better than these matches, so let's actually use these. "74% chance of success." That's pretty good. Checking the chat. Oh no, I let my fire go out while I was checking the chat. Or did we fail? Oh, I think we actually failed to start. Bless you. Sneezing there is our official unpaid intern of BleakHaus, Sanic. He's playing the Xbox One behind me. We're going to try and get the Xbox One streaming around 5 or 6 o'clock. But I must admit, my graphics card and my computer is like the oldest thing, and I'm not sure if it's going to be up to pumping out the sweet high-resolution graphics that we would really want for that stream. But we're going to spend some time working it out. Probably working it out soon. All right, add fuel, add fuel. Oh, there's not enough for a torch. Let's cook a whitefish at least. And warm up. All right. Did we get a... All right, that did not get us a cook. All right. We're gonna eat our white lakefish. We're numb and parched. It's time to go. There is a wolf. We want to keep our distance. If he comes after us, we can pop a flare.
I'd eat snow if the hypothermia wouldn't kill me.
Grab these cattails. Probably best to face the wolf while harvesting cattails in case it makes a beeline for me. And we may be cold and numb. That doesn't mean we shouldn't collect all the cattails we can see. Let's just focus on doing it quickly. Get back up to this cabin. Hope that's not running from anything dangerous. Okay, it's time to break down some things. It's gonna take an hour 45, so let's go ahead and drink. We are warming up slowly. A little tired. We'll be hungry by the time we're done. All right, lots of goodies. I wanted to check, did that hurt our hatchet much? 2% of our hatchet went for taking that chair out.
That'll come in handy.
Oh, cloth. Perfect. And someone left a grape soda down there, huh? For all our hard-earned work, that might be just what we need. Let's get this started now that we've got something to start. Box and matches. There's only so much. Oh, look. Kerosene. We should save that for the lamp, though. Let's use up this tinder plug. Let's go ahead and use the fire starter since we don't have any sticks right now to give us a 70% chance of starting this fire. Then I think we'll heat up something delicious. And we'll think about our next moves. Fire starting skill went up to 61. Yeah, buddy. Okay, I'm pretty sure we don't need it to be much warmer than this. This should be fine. We are quite hungry. So let's cook all our fish. Even the cooked fish, I imagine, doesn't keep forever. Boiling water. Takes a while. I wonder if it's dependent on how high the fire's heat output is. Okay. Let's boil it 1 liter at a time so we don't run out of fire to do so. I think this will give us just enough time. Go, 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 go. Boil, boil, boil. I think we made it. Indeed we did. Perfect timing. Let's eat our fish. We are starving, I'm sure. And we could eat more. Yeah, calories. So it looks like 2,400 calories is about our standard. Let's drink. We don't need to carry all this water. And it sure is dark. I want to split some of my water into here. And it is bedtime. Now let's not trip while we're heading up to sleep. Can't see, guys. Searching blindly for beds. We'll rest a nice 7 hours. There's about 1 hour of darkness left. We are fully rested, thirsty. And we need a fire. Did we break it? I don't think we got our wood. Okay, the fish will keep us alive. Let's get a torch out of this fire. Maybe heat up some breakfast. And head out. We don't want to be caught unawares with a wolf. Glad you guys can make it. We're going to make sure to announce our live streams earlier. Nothing to heat up. We're really not that hungry yet. We're gonna get used to starving. So let's just grab a torch and start fishing. I want to camp. I want to explore today, which is why we want to get a jump on the day. The day's activities. Looks like air temperature chill. It's cold, but it's not too bad. There is a wolf in our way. I'm not sure how effective brandishing torches are, but we just got to feel confident. I don't like the reduced visibility. Stinks, but I think the fog will burn off by morning, so. If we don't show any fear, it will fear us, right? Matter of fact, there are cattails here we want. Alright, and unnecessarily proving how much of a man we really are, we scare it off with our torch. However, it does not go far enough. Still, you want some of this? You want some of this? Yeah, how does that feel? How does that feel? I didn't do anything to you, but I'm sure it feels bad because you look scared. Alright, so having an idea of how effective, man, he is gone. He is gone. Up and over the hill. Having an idea of how effective your tools are is nice, and we didn't die, which is pretty awesome. Now, we've got a torch. I should have grabbed some sticks. We are a little cold. Where's that? The cabin with the door might be optimal. But it's further away. And there was a bear at it last time. Does give us a chance to harvest these. And of course that wolf might be over here, because this is kind of the direction it ran. There's that bear. Let's just stay opposite the bear. And make a dash. I do not know if this will be effective against the bear. And I really don't want to find out. But okay, wind chill is the same. Starting to second guess this whole shenanigan. But we're here. It is cold. Our torch is out. We're gonna start a fire. We're gonna need more fire materials. We've got plenty of fire starting capabilities, so I'm willing to kind of, hate to say it, but let these matches. We're gonna trust the random number god that we worship. Okay, we're numb. "25 minutes. Let's fish for 2 hours. That's how long our fire is going to last. Hopefully that will leave us with enough to... Alright, 1 fish. Come on, 2. Come on. Yes. Take a torch. Cook a fish. Both fish if we can. I just wanted to get the torch before the fire dropped down so low that we couldn't. Alright, we are tired, hungry, and thirsty. I thought I got plenty of sleep, but maybe this is just hard work. We're gonna drink this soda we got when we were busting up that last thing. We're gonna book it away from this bear. And remember that that cabin is not that much better. The door is nice.
I think I need to lay down.
Mayhap we will take a quick nap, as I do love to do. Great. Let's try and ignore it. I'm tired, Wolf. I don't want to brandish if I don't have to. Oh shit. Multi-wolf. No, it's just the one. Just the one. We get to fight back using the knife. Oh god. But we pay the price for it. Maybe? I don't know. We look relatively unwounded somehow. Gotta brandish sooner than that.
Too tired to think straight.
Alright, we're headed towards our cabin. We are extra exhausted, but unwounded. Perhaps because we showed our manliness earlier in this day. We survived a wolf attack. So I'm gonna guess that... Oh, we dropped our torch back there. Fuck it. We can't run. We're overburdened because we're so tired. That torch burns out there. You see it. Flashing in the distance. We're stumbling around. But we're alive. We've never been more alive. The hollow feeling of not having people to talk to. No amount of wolf attacks can cure that, though. Actually, it probably just takes one wolf attack to cure that. Okay, so we're exhausted, peckish, and cold. That's it. We're warming up now that we're inside. And I think it's time to sleep. Let's see exactly how much sleep we need. Hey Bob. I think we prefer this one. It's next to the stove. Okay, we are completely exhausted. And while I don't want to sleep through the day, I guess we can. Let's sleep 2 hours and see where that puts us. Exploration is off for the day. We were attacked by a wolf. 2, okay, we need more sleep than that. Let's drink some of that water we have on hand. I don't need a warm meal. Let's eat something from the stock downstairs, like reasonable people. Now that we've had a nap, we feel a bit better. We are really lucky to get off without any wounds. Fishing and hacking at stuff must take more effort than I thought. Let's take some peaches. They're better cold anyway. I feel like using the knife to open cans is likely to get you a cut sometime. Okay, we're pretty full. We're not very thirsty. We're drained. Anything else I want to do with daylight? I don't want to go out like this. Let's sleep a little while. How much daylight do we have? Oh, we don't know. Is it getting nasty out there? Let's sleep 3 hours. Okay, a couple hours of daylight left. Oh, there's that reclaimed wood. Okay, we're a little tired. Okay, we put stuff in there. Of course we did. That's smart. Let's... Is that enough firewood? Ugh, I'm torn, guys. Okay, I can't remember. We need to see how much reclaimed wood it takes to make a torch. We could craft a torch here, right? That is so much. Seems like a bit much. Let's start this fire. Let's use the fire starter, as it does increase our chances significantly. And the matches, so I would use the matches if I had sticks. I don't want to combine two poor chances to light stuff. I want to get a bonus from somewhere. We can use the bonus from the stick to make up for the matches lack of bonus to start fire. We can use the bonus from the fire starter when the chances with a match are kind of wastefully low. We can take a torch. Can I heat up coffee? Touch the feel of coffee. Let's take the torch first. Oh, and that killed the fire. All right. We'll start the fire when we get back. All right, so you do automatically use the knife to fight with. Torch duration here. Do we have a map? I mean, would that be cheating? I'm gonna assume we don't, but... Drop decoy. Start fire. I forgot about drop decoy. Like, it's not a bad day. It only feels like -3 degrees Celsius. And we should know a little bit more about what we're up to. So there's the camp office, there's the back door to the camp office. There's a crazy trail right behind it. We're tired, so I don't want to run too much, but I do want to know more about what's going on. Okay. And collecting sticks would be nice. There's a bunch of deer here. What is this? Oh no.
I could use this.
All right. Soda and a toke. No wonder he didn't make it. Some crow feathers. A little bit of brandishing. Let's keep an eye on the temperature. There's only so much we can burn. Back in camp. Stop attacking. I don't know about you, but I don't trust theme music. Also, if you ever camped, collecting yourself and making camp before it gets dark is like a #1 grand idea. Looks like our torch died. We're probably close to exhausted. We're getting quite cold. Ah! No! No, kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Okay, it attacked us. We did not get our flare off in time. But maybe we can harvest from this dead. I know we're hurt. I saw major bruising. But we're lucky enough to have a freshly killed corpse in front of us. We want the hide and the guts. And as much meat as we can carry. 3 hours and most of our calories. Now, how wounded are we? Sprained ankle isn't so bad. Treat wounds. Let's take some painkillers. Okay. And, oh god, are we gonna freeze to death? Oh, no! No. Oh, how miserable. I didn't hit cancel. I didn't realize there even was a cancel bonus, and we greedily attempted to harvest too much too soon. It would be nice if you were doing something that took a long time and you got to like you started reaching critical levels of being frozen or you know, other things. At least the things that would cause death, if the game kind of slow mode a little bit to let you know and give you a chance to cancel. I do love fishing for crits. Well, all right. So I do quite enjoy the Long Dark, and I'm looking forward to playing more. Maybe I'll even give it more of a role-playing spin next time. If you guys have any ideas for the role-playing, I have one of my own, but I'd be interested to hear what you have. Also, if you don't know about it yet, there is we're doing a Darkest Dungeon giveaway, the Repartee giveaway, and the video is up on this channel, BleakHaus. You can enter simply by giving us a short quote that you wish that the narrator of Darkest Dungeon had said, and the situation which would trigger that quote, which can be anything. It could be a lack of things, it could be no food when you're camping, whatever. But we want to hear your best idea for a quote that should be in the game. And your reward for getting the most likes and becoming the victor of our campaign of quotation is that not only will we give the #1 most liked comment a free Steam key of Darkest Dungeon, but the top 3 we will all do our best Wayne June impersonations of in our video review of Darkest Dungeon, which will come out sometime after the release. So the competition ends on the 18th of January, not so far away, about a week. And we would love to have any of your guys' input. Sunless Sea, I do actually have Sunless Sea, and I have played many hours of what is it? Fall in London. But there just wasn't enough game to hold me. The story and the phrasing, the sheer grammar of it all is incredibly impressive, but I had issues with the lack of the tediousness and the lack of entertainment that I derived from it. Purely a mental thing. So, but I could install and play that in the next live stream, which will probably be next Monday. I think we're going to have a live stream every Monday. And of course, our house call we want to broadcast live coming up this Thursday. If you missed the first house call, which we went live late Thursday night, last Thursday, check it out. It's just me and Evan. You get to see our faces. I know we have crappy webcams. And we're doing it through Google Chat, so it's not the most pristine, beautiful image ever. But you can see what we look like and hear our plans for BleakHaus and how our plans are currently playing out. So I am going to take a short hiatus. You guys can observe our wolf encounters here. And I will be back in 15 minutes, let's say. No, let's make it 10. I'll be back in 10 minutes, and I'm going to start up a new game that was suggested to me by one of your housemates called Space Food Truck. I put up an hour-long video of it yesterday, and I'm really excited to take another crack at it and see if we can deliver the most fabulous food truck food that the galaxy has ever known to, I don't know, 3 different people spread across the galaxy. So hang in there, and we'll be playing that in a few short minutes. But for now, enjoy watching me fade into the long dark. Alright guys, I'm back. I think you can hear me, and I'm gonna, while this plays, I'm gonna get Space Food Truck up and running. And then we'll swap over. And there we go. Easy peasy. Alright, sounds freakishly loud to me. But I'm curious how it sounds to you guys. That first part's really loud to begin with. So, let us get into it. Zanuck, would you do me the solid next time you die? Check out how this sounds. Alright, awesome. So, we're gonna jump right in. Let me just jump right in. I got things to invent. I'm an innovator, baby. Change the world. Anyway, I do love the epic rap battles of history. So, alright guys, it looks like we are back. And I did actually want to turn the sound down a little bit. It's so loud. Alright, that intro is so loud. But and then the rest of the game not that loud. Alright, that intro is so loud. Alright, seems like the sound levels are fine, except for that initial blast of authentic spacefaring music. I think the problem was the Long Dark was running and I totally forgot to turn it off immediately after starting this one. I did make a really smooth transition until the thing crashed. So, you probably had longer than necessary to read this, but this is Space Food Truck, a cooperative card game for up to 4 players that you can play local on your one desktop or online with anyone else who owns the game. It's kind of like Dominion meets Pandemic meets Futurama. The universe is trying to kill you. You're trying to work together with your various skills to overcome the challenges and meet your goals. And all the while, goofy space hijinks are being undertaken. So, let us begin. Space. Sprinkled across its vastness are more exotic flavors than any single tongue could hope to fathom. We, the Galaxy Gourmet crew, risk our lives to bring the finest dishes from across the stars right to your home planet, and to earn money so we can repay our creditors for this very expensive ship. The captain has plotted our course, the chefs selected some signature recipes, the engineer says all systems are go, and the scientist, we we prefer not to ask what he's up to anymore. All we're missing are fresh ingredients and hungry customers. I mean, obviously we would start our food truck venture with ingredients if they weren't so rare and exotic for the best possible dishes. All right, Captain's turn. So, at the beginning of every character's turn, something good and or bad happens. There's obviously a draw deck of mostly bad things that strike. This says Cyberpunk. Shouldn't have clicked that. A bogus link hacks your discard pod, sucking a random card from your hand. 2. Space Team at galaxygourmet.com. From Inconspicuous at truthnews.com. Subject, a secret for winners. Hello, true friend. Did you know you can unlock every scientific discovery yourself with this one weird trick? Scientists hate it. Click here to read more, or click here to delete this email. And I'm not sure which one we intended to do, but we failed and did both. All right, so the captain's purview is stocking the ship. The Zap Mart on the ship can be restocked when you visit new planets. And traveling the universe in search of, well, for one, so these are blueprints. You can purchase blueprints with the credit value of all the cards that you have played or not played but are still in your hand. Basically, if it's in your discard or your draw, you do not get the credit value for it. Or if you gave it away to someone else on the ship, you do not get credit value for it. However, if it is in your hand, and whether you used it or not, you can use it to purchase stuff. Note that we could purchase the blue meat because we have 4 credit power. Everyone's credit amounts for their current hand are listed here in the blue on the right. The other notable resource is power. Everyone's power amounts are listed in the left column here in orange. It is not time to update Java. No. Bad Macintosh. Shrink that. Okay, here we go. I'm watching the stream chat on the Macintosh, my little laptop. All right, so power, credits, that's how that works. The captain makes sure there are things here, mainly so you can avoid purchasing last resorts. The last resorts are the worst cards in the game. The Hall Pass has an equivalent amount of power and credit, but it allows you to move anywhere. That's what this bottom is. Many of the cards that are specific to each player require them to be in their room and will move them to their room when they use them. But the Hall Pass lets you go anywhere in the ship, which can be really important for solving crises and transferring needed cards from one player to another. But the Last Resort doesn't do that. But it's free. It's the only free card. So if you don't have enough purchasing power, or there's nothing else for you to buy, or it's all too expensive, you're going to end up stocking your deck with Last Resort cards, which will inflate it to the point of worthlessness. Keeping your deck small, because this is a deck builder, is really important. Small, sleek, and powerful is what you want. Focused. Many good things. All right, so what can we do? The engineer says, I actually see with these nubs on my head. The goggles are just decorations. Clever man. What did we end up discarding? We can check here. A Taste of the Future. This is equivalent to a Last Resort. You start off with a number of these in your deck. I think you start off with, well, let's see. I don't know. You start off with 11 cards, right? 10 cards. You start with 10 cards. I guess you have 5 job cards. The jobs are specific to, maybe you start with 4 job cards, a Hall Pass, and 5 Tastes of the Futures. The Hall Pass can go to anyone. Only the captain can play their job card, and then everyone has their own job. So, captain's job card is Engage. This is the primary purpose of the captain, to fly to different places. Play this with power to charge the FTL drive, then travel as far as your charge allows. All right, that is worthwhile. What else do we have here? the chef is short on everything. Well, he's got decent purchasing power and can cook and taste test. The researcher, I think the researcher is very important that he is well stocked with goodness. Foresight, definitely want to put some power into foresight, which lets us figure out what we're going to research before we research it. Otherwise, you're just getting random stuff. And the engineer here fixes the ship up and upgrades it. But he looks pretty well stocked. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to engage. We're going to throw one taste of the future onto it. Note that whatever you use to power another card has no effect besides granting power. So we can't use this taste of the future for anything else once we use it to power the FTL. So boom. Note that our FTL went up by 1 tick from 0, and now we can travel to another place that is 1 jump away. There's no zooming in, but you can pull it around. This is the spot where our first delivery must take place. The Asari rolls. That'll take 1 space kale and 1 Vega mushroom. Note that the little tooltip tells us where we can find this ingredient. Zapmart, found via traveling the galaxy. And then there's always, in that last one ingredient that must be synthesized in your own science lab. Each of the, yeah, we'll get around to that, but that is something you'll have to invest in research to find. We could choose not to jump and just stock that FTL charge, which when we play some later engage card could be used. But it's best to get a move on, and since this moves us close to our objective and there's a number of other points we can go, we're just going to take a leap of blind faith and hope nothing horrific waits for us on the other side. Punch it, Captain. Zapmartia. A sure thing. You ask if anyone's picked up any Zapmart signals nearby. There's an exotic ingredient blueprint being broadcast not far from here. Could be something you need for today's recipes. All right, so we learned that raw nuts are available on Elora in the Dark Horse Nebula. Elora. Everything's negotiable on this planet. Expect to haggle on an order-by-order basis. Wear some shades. Currently we're on Zapmartia in the Fomalhaut system. This planet is brought to you by Zapmart. When you need it right now and you have money, Zapmart. Okay, where are these nuts used? Looks like, no. Petri flakes. Yeah, it looks like we don't actually need this ingredient, but since every time you travel to a place, you get 1 encounter. They are generally troublesome. Well, I don't know. I would say they're about half troublesome, and the other half are neutral or good. Here we were notified of a special ingredient we can find somewhere else. This ingredient counts as our encounter for that system, so we know if we go there, nothing bad is going to happen to us. We're going to have access to Ral nuts, which isn't necessarily good for us, but hey. All right, now the captain will perform her other duty besides moving around, and that is choosing what the other members of the ship can purchase from, or yes, items for them to purchase. All right, so we started off with 1 spun silk, 1 common ingredient, a hall pass, and 1 refined silk. Silk is the power source widely used across the galaxy. It's kind of like cotton candy for faster than light drives. It has very high power. And at most levels, it also carries some worth. So a little purchasing power, a lot of ability powering power. So this is expensive, 7 credits. Note that no one here can buy 7 credits. We need at least 3 things, or 4 things, because the captain will have to purchase at the end of her turn. Everyone purchases a card at the end of their turn. We'll need 4 things that cost 5 or less. So what do we want? Let's take the spun silk. With 5 purchasing power, spun silk is fine. We're going to need 4 blue meat as we travel the galaxy, and they're cheap. Plus, they come with a good amount of purchasing ability, good amount of credit, but no power. The diploma bot, he may just sit around and do nothing for us, but let's take him anyway. Raw silk really isn't that impressive. It has no credit value, which makes it really painful later on. You start not being able to purchase things. I don't like it. As long as we can afford other stuff, let's do so. And then now we have a hall pass, and I need the scientist to do a little better than it looks like he's going to do on his turn. So we're going to give him this taste of the future. Note that we have increased his purchasing power and his ability to power his cards by giving him that card, while reducing our own ability to purchase to 3 because we gave that card away. It doesn't count. So at the end of the phase, we have 3, and we are going to buy our average power is 0.5, our average birth is 1. Our average power, if it dips too low, you're very likely to draw cards that have no power at all. So we're going to grab a hall pass to keep our average power in our deck a bit higher. And here we go. Not a bad draw. It's the chef's turn. Note that the order is always the same, so get used to it. And our problem for the turn is a Vexel. We just fumigated. Where do these things keep coming from? Add a Vexel to your discard. So it won't affect us until our deck cycles again, which won't be this turn, or it might be. And let's look at what we got. Not much power to go around. A taste of the future sits here. Cook. For every 2 powers played with this, toss an ingredient from your hand or discard into the pot. We don't have the right ingredients right now, and nor do we even have enough power to use this with only 1 power in our hand. But taste test is excellent. Play to draw 2. Add 1 to your hand, toss the other to your discard, or destroy it, so that this is just a standard thing for him. He has no problem eating bad cards. We'd probably end up eating the Vexel if I have my way. All right, so we're gonna take the hall pass, and I want to destroy the taste of the future. Let's do. Let's keep our deck nice and lean. We're gonna taste test again. We're gonna take this one, destroy that one. So now we have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards total. 1 is a Vexel. Hopefully we'll get another taste test when our deck reshuffles along with that Vexel, and we can just eat it. What the Vexel does is reduce the credit you have available by 1 just for holding him. Due to the chef's ability to draw extra cards with taste test, he does often end up with lots of purchasing power. So we now have 7 purchasing power and nothing else to do, but we can purchase this diploma bot. Play to instantly resolve 1 interpersonal crisis. No need to move. Plus, it's 2 power and 2 credits. So the chef often ends up with quite a powerful deck. There is a Vexel. It actually needs to be in our deck for us to taste test it, which is a shame. All right, the captain nods off at the helm after an all-nighter. Discard 2 power to wake her up, or we hit a space probe for 1 damage. Damage goes to shields first, and then to your unrepairable health. I am gonna take the damage, as the engineer can pump the shields back up, and we need to leave something for him to do. Plus, I want all my power for smart research choices. Right? Now, we can give something back to the captain. You cannot give back a card that you have recently received. At least that's what the rules told me, and I don't need to try it. First things first, we're going to use Foresight. And we're going to throw... Let's look at this. What is purchasable? 7. Shit. Now we're just going to focus here. We're going to use Foresight twice. The cap... Oh, there's so many good choices. So these are research nodes. You can use foresight to peek at what they are. They are randomly arranged for each character at the beginning of the game, though there are 6 job cards unlockable. When you unlock a job card by researching, it's added to the appropriate player's discard pile. And there is one of these researchable ingredients in each row. So 6. So somewhere in one of these rows is the ability to make Petri flakes. Now, we don't know where they are, so we're gonna have to look around. And I don't wanna just willy-nilly research stuff. That's trouble. And the other thing you can do besides unlocking new job cards for everyone, and the job cards locked in here are always the same, and the job cards you start with are always the same. You can mutate a card in someone's hand to give it 1 extra power. So you can permanently increase that card's power by 1, which is really useful for making job cards a little more versatile. But what we want first, the chef has the ability to make the flambe, free sample card. Don't mind if I do. Play to pull a card from any player's hand into yours, then they draw one. This lets the chef, since he can destroy cards more easily with his taste test, sucking bad cards out of other people's hands allows him to eventually annihilate them. It also lets him get ingredients that other people have in their deck into his own so that he can then cook them. All right, let's focus on the chef. Flambe, this is actually the card I was looking for. Play to destroy 1 card from any player's hand. Then they draw 1. So this is really nice for winnowing other people's decks down, though it does cost them a bit of purchasing power usually in that turn. So then I'm going to research. I'm going to power it with this hall pass. Note that we have to do that in the lab. And we're going to take Flambe. If I had just so once you research, the expense to research again increases by 1. So the next time we research, we'll need 2 power if we want to research a chef card, or it remains 1 everywhere else. Mutate also gets more expensive as you go. So next phase, 6 purchasing power. We often need spun silk. Or we often need power here to power our foresight and ability to research. So the spun silk is going to be perfect for the scientist. Note that if we had dodged the damage early in the turn, we would have been down 2 cards because they would be in our discard, which means we would have had less purchasing power and less power to use foresight and other such things. All right, currently we have a busted door. Oh, chef says, when sneaky Vexel fall into pot, chef doesn't tell. Something else. I'll try and jump on those because they're all hilarious. So we have a trusty wrench. This is the engineer job card. Play with power to charge your wrench and fix broken items around the ship. Note that you can do this from anywhere in the ship. There is no room. Upgrade, only doable from the workshop, and it moves you to the workshop. So the trusty wrench, for each power, we can fix a door, restore a shield. What else? Yeah, so it's 1 power to restore the shield by 1 point, 1 power to fix the bridge. We can easily afford that, and we'll have 1 power left over from Taste of the Future. And we'll use that with upgrade the ship. Upgrade the ship. Play with 1 power. Play 1 power with this card to add a point to your FTL engine or shield capacity. It does not fill it up. Let's show you how that works. Good to play these all the time. Let's pump up our shields. We now have 3 points of available shield capacity. We would have to... The engineer is generally the only one who can fix it. So let's fix the bridge door since the captain is currently locked out, which means she couldn't use any of her abilities since she is in the lab. And we'll spend the remaining point to up our shields back to 2 active shield points. All right, so we still have 5 purchasing power. The engineer, let's see, what are we gonna take? The engineer is one of the most power hungry of all. Let's take the spun silk for him because when the captain moves from one system to another, she can purchase from the new stock of cards. Okay, so pay attention to this dynamic. We've gone through each player's turn. It's about to be the captain's turn. If we were to go through each player's turn again without traveling to a new system and restocking, then the captain would take a card, the chef, the scientist, and then someone's going to have to take a last resort. So you want to travel every turn if possible. Also, you can check out other players' deck stats. Insert joke here. Interesting. It's got this crazy little glitchy stuff at the bottom. This game. Hey, Devin. Space food truck. Space, food, and truck combined. Alright, looks like the captain gets a Vexel for her trouble. And if you weren't here when I started, this is a mix of Dominion, Pandemic, and Futurama. Obviously not all of those are games. Alright, so the captain's got 2 power. We want to play to reveal a clue for 3 unvisited planets. Yes. So similar to the event that happened when we moved here, this will let us reveal something about all the places we can near, let's see, about planets. So here, it's back. It's back. It doesn't tell you what it's back does, so you have to get a feel for what the events actually are. But I can tell you that's bad. Bad news bears. This is the other place we can go. Mammon eggs are revealed here. We're gonna need those eventually, so maybe we should pick those up now. And asked around. Pep talk location revealed. Pep talks are probably good. So the mammon eggs are something I need. If I'm gonna make an FTL jump, I'm gonna need to engage. Note how the captain, when we used to ask around, moved back to the bridge. So we're only gonna make a jump of 1, I believe. So boom. Let's power up that FTL. We get 1 charge in the FTL and we're gonna spend it to go here. Since we are, every time you arrive in a system, of course, you have some sort of encounter, and new ingredients count as an encounter. So the mammon eggs, tasty little guys, never had a chance. It is an exotic ingredient. Note that it's worth 2 power and 2 credits, which is pretty good. And it is located somewhere in their blueprints. Oh, excellent. And space kale. Still a fad. We need a space kale. We need mammon eggs. We'll need another kale eventually, so let's go ahead and grab it. We won't need it for a long time, so maybe not. Let's see. Total purchasing power, the chef's is only 3, but that's a little deceptive as the chef can often increase his hand power with taste tests. 5. Hall passes are pretty good, very useful. The ability to trade cards is pretty sweet. And then, let's see, the Gamma Toaster. Play with another card in your hand to double its worth and power. Destroy that card forever at the end of turn. Really useful for getting rid of taste tests. No, a Taste of the Future, that basic card. Make it 2 power and 2 credit until the end of your turn, and then nuke it. I've also shoved Vexels in the Gamma Toaster. They're not really worth anything that way, but then they are destroyed. And then the Flux Inverter is also a great card. Play to flip this card's power and worth, then return it to your hand. Works once per turn. So this is a very versatile card, which can give you power if you need power, can give you purchasing power if you need purchasing power. And we're going to go ahead and nab that and hope someone gets a chance to purchase it. We still have this Refined Silk, so that's 2 expensive cards and 2 less expensive cards. This should get us through the round, back to the captain's turn, without anyone having to really suffer. All right, we could We could jump again. Let's take a look at the map. Just click on that person's turn. Let's go get a pep talk. Maybe we can find better stuff to purchase than what we currently have. I hope a pep talk is good. It sounds good. It's back. Let me tell you, that sounds bad to me. Let me tell you, it is bad. Punch it, Captain. Hourglass Nebula, do that. Pep talk. The captain would like a word. Another random player feels invigorated and draws a card. Scientist gets an extra taste of the future, so that's 1 more power and 1 more credit for him on his turn. Very nice. Now we can dock again. Okay, okay. Now that the scientist has 6 purchasing power, 6 credit, I might consider the X-ray Burnalizer. Play to peek at your next 4 draws. You may destroy 1. So that's pretty good for winnowing out nasty cards out of your deck. Also, Enriched Econium. This card gains 2 power for each silk in your hand and 2 worth for each ingredient. So this is more potent when you have a mix of the basic cards, ingredients, and silk. I think a little better later in the game. We don't want too many expensive cards. And all these ingredients we kind of need. Oh, we need this Vega Mushroom stat. And we don't want to stuff everyone's hands full of 0 power cards. Let's ditch the refined silk. I also want some of the spun silk is pretty good stuff. Let's ditch the flux inverter. Those are expensive. I'm gonna need the blue meat, mammon eggs. Really can't discard any of this stuff right now. Let's ditch the hall pass. And I want the Vega mushrooms. And we now have all the ingredients we need for Vega noodles. I want the Burnalizer. I want spun silk. Stock up, me hearties. And we are going to go ahead and acquire. Let's get that Space Kale into the captain's deck, into someone's hand. She can give it to the cook later. Maybe he can pull it out of her discard pile with some of his other cards. This Vexel, we're going to want to destroy that Vexel if possible. Bad dream. The captain nods off. Discard 2 power to wake up, or we hit something. We have enough shields and 2 power. Generally, it takes 1 power to repair. So we're just going to take that hit. Chef needs goodies. Okay, we want to take the Diploma Bot. It's worth more power and credit. And destroy the Taste of the Future or discard? Let's destroy it for now. Be careful not to destroy too many or you won't have any power in your deck, making the chef's cards, chef do all the work, chef deserve a raise. Chef's cards are a great target for the scientist mutate ability, so that he can run with, so he can get more power out of his basic cards. I suppose everyone can use that, but a chef, once you get enough mutate on these, then no longer needs other cards to provide the power to do his work. His power isn't, he generally doesn't need that much power, and I think, from what I've seen, and can get away with a small amount every turn. Alright, Diploma Bot. There are no crises going on right now, but the purchasing power is good. The Vexel, -1 worth while it's in your hand, so unfortunately that just causes us to break even. There's no ability to cook. There's nothing in our discard we could cook, so that Flambe card, can't wait to get that. Let us, we could hall pass and give somebody something. That's not a bad idea. We could give this Vexel away. What does he have? Upgrade ship, trusty wrench, 3 power, 5 worth. And what is purchasable? Spun silk. I think the scientists. Scientist has a lot of research. Captain's worth is already a bit low. We got a lot of cheap ingredients to buy. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to engineering. Give Vexel to you. Now that reduces his purchasing power. It makes us jerks. But since it was reducing our purchasing power, we now have 6, whereas we would have had 5, and we can purchase these mammon eggs and get them out of the stock. The more expensive cards you have left up here, the more dangerous, the more likely you'll end up with last resorts in your hands when things start to go awry. All right, a door is busted. Ooh. Fortunately, we do have a trusty wrench ready. Otherwise, the chef would be trapped in engineering. I've been tinkering with a brilliant new flavor. I call it Vegetable Congress. Disturbing, scientist. Disturbing. All right, so we can research. And we might as well throw all of our weight into researching because we can't do anything else. What will I research? Well, since we're going to be purchasing ingredients with lots of different characters, the chef's ability to pull ingredients from other characters is going to be important. Likewise, we're going to want to mutate stuff. So, someone wants power. Upgrade ship. I think that's a great card to mutate because it only takes 1 power. And then it basically powers itself. And every time you draw that card, you just upgrade your ship. Engage, also a fine one for it, but it looks like she's got plenty of power. Cook, a good one to put power on because you always need some power to cook, and the cook is notorious for not having enough power in my playthroughs. This time, we want to repair our shields and upgrade the ship. Let's go ahead and upgrade the trusty wrench. Oops, I did that wrong. And let's also, what I meant was, let's upgrade both of these. Note that it took 2 research points to upgrade the second item, but we had 3 total research points, so 1 and then 2, 3. So the upgrade ship is now going to be free, and the trusty wrench is always going to let him repair whenever he draws it, at least one little thing, whether he draws other power or not. And of course, it can be used to power other cards. So that was all of our researching, nice and efficient. Let's go. With 6 purchasing points, we can get the X-ray Burnalizer. It has 2 worth and 1 power, and it lets us winnow down our cards, which is nice. I think in space, so Devin Conway says, nice, even in space they need food trucks, and I say yes. Everywhere they need food trucks, more food trucks. All right, our first crisis, a delicate disposal. The scientist pylonium supply expires soon, and the disposal procedures are pretty intricate. The engineer and captain have 12 turns to reach the lab and properly neutralize the stuff before it becomes unstable. If it detonates, the ship takes 2 damage. That's 2 damage to your shields, of course. But note that in the lab, these 2 characters must meet within 12 turns or we suffer. Good news though, I think, does he have the diploma bot? Yeah, the diploma bot is here and ready to resolve that crisis. So, good news everyone. Let's look at what's damaged and how much power we need. All right, we can put 2 power into the shields, 1 into the workshop door. So 3 power for repairs, that's totally possible. And we can give this Vexel to someone else if we, can we give it back to, let's try that out. Chef, give card, chef. No backseas. They just gave you that card, it would be rude to give it right back. Nice. All right, we're gonna upgrade ship to add a capacity to FTL or the shields. I'm gonna go with shields first. And then I want 3 repair. Sometimes I crack a smile or a frown. All this travel must be getting to me. Okay, we are gonna have to repair to ever leave this room. And then I have, with all of this stuff, we don't need to go anywhere and give anyone any cards. We can repair the workshop and then stick 3 points into shields, maxing out our shields. See, glad we took the damage on the shields, as otherwise I don't know what I would have done. We're gonna end our turn. Our 4 purchasing power only lets us get a couple things. We'll take the Vega Mushroom. Alright, we have on board the ingredients we need for the Asari rolls. And if we hover over them, it'll tell us who has what. The captain has Space Kale, the engineer has the Vega Mushroom. The Meteoroid deals 1 damage to us. We have Engage. This Vexel is a pain in our butt, of course. And it's time to jump, guys. So let's ram up the FTL and go boldly wherever we go. If you go back to a place that you've already visited, you won't suffer any new encounters, but also nothing particularly exciting. Let's go to Chemo Atho, Cotton Candy Nebula, an artificial planet commissioned by Chemoium the Wise for a really good reason, one assumes. So if you don't plot the rest of your course, then you can only jump to that 1 ship, but if you do plot a longer course, you will be able to continue going. A short jump is going to be fine with us, and the FTL drive should probably retain its charge. Let's see what our encounter here is. Hopefully not too bad. Pep talk, yes! The chef draws mammon eggs, which is going to increase his purchasing power significantly. Alright, so with the chef able to purchase at least 8 points, we could pick up something nice. I'm going to go with the Flux Inverter. We've seen that before. New here is Unoas Remote. Play to let any crew member draw 1 card. So that's like a pep talk, and it has 1 of each. So it's kind of got the basic other statistics. Blue meat. How many blue meats do we have? I know you guys have blue meats. Oh, I have 2 here. Let's see. Otherwise, people only have, well, let's take that blue meat. And let's get the enriched Econium in here. Kind of gives you more of whatever you've got, but that's not so bad. This Vexel. Let's pick up one of these blue meats. They're cheap blue meats. Now, our engaged cards are getting further and further apart. If our deck gets large enough that the captain isn't guaranteed to draw an engaged card every turn, or we draw 2 at once it gets shuffled, that could be bad news bears for us. And we're gonna need to research some new cards for the captain to ensure that that does not happen. There's a Space Kale in her hand. She has a Space Kale. We need to cook the Space Kale. Ah, Cyberpunked. There goes one of our sweet cards. What did we discard? Free sample? Man, I really needed that free sample. Unless it was the hall pass. Okay. We can't cook the mammon eggs. The kale is in her hand, and the Vega mushrooms are in his discard pile. Alright, taste test. Thankfully, he fixed that door. We'll take another taste test, which will pump up our purchasing power. We will destroy this. Destroyed. Play this taste test, which will run our deck dry, meaning we will shuffle. We'll take Flambe. Our cooking powers don't look to be too soon. Do not destroy your job cards unless you know exactly what you're doing. Play destroy 1 card from someone's hand. Captain's only got pretty good cards in his hand. Her hand. Their hand? I don't know. Taste of the Future, though. Those could go. And if anyone's deck needs winnowing, it is the captain's. So let's flambe one of the captain's cards. Now, she's got 7 purchasing power and 3 power. She doesn't need too much power to keep going. And, oh, she does get to draw a card to replace it. Uh-oh. Both engages. It's okay. Her deck will be shuffled after next turn, and she's got enough to make a jump, so. Okay, we're going to use the Diploma Bot to resolve this crisis. After a few informative videos, the engineer and captain feel qualified to safely dissolve the expiring polonium. With a satisfying flush, the ship avoids taking any damage. Oh, the life support can totally fail, Devin. Life support can totally fail. Okay, the mammoth eggs are just an expensive thing. Can't do much else with that. Can't cook anything because there's no food in our discard or our hand that goes to this current dish. So we are done. Chef did well. 9 purchasing power means that he's going to buy the more expensive card so that it can get out of our shop. And that's a very flexible one, which will allow him to purchase really expensive ingredients or help power his other hijinks. All right, the scientist draws a bonus card. Yay! Not a bad thing. Zap Mark gives us a promotional card. 6 purchasing power. Ooh, and it's a foresight. Just what we needed. We are going to focus. We're going to use foresight. We're going to power it with spun silk. And then we'll save 2 points for researching. So our next research for the chef will cost 3. And we don't have that much power left, so let's take a look elsewhere. The captain. Overdrive. Fill your FTL drive to the max, then travel as far as your charge allows. Like I was saying, we need more cards that let us travel, and this charges our FTL without consuming power and using up the cards in our hands, so that is a good one. We're also going to be able to purchase one other 1-point card. Let's search the engineer. What do we get? Quantum Nucleonic Core. This is a great card. An awesome power source only you can be trusted with. So the engineer, this card gains 2 power if you're in the workshop. So when the engineer is in his zone, this is a 6 power card. Excellent. And we'll take a peek at the scientist. Fast track. Play this with power to unlock a lab research node, just like research, adding a new job card to someone's hand. So instead of adding that newly researched card to their discard, they will get to use it on their next turn. Plus, it's kind of like drawing an extra card. Its worth or power, both will be added to their hand's value. So an excellent card. Fast track, far superior to research if you can flambe these researches. With the fast track that in your deck, you know, good replacement, superior in every way. So now we can research twice, or we can research once for 2. It doesn't actually make a difference how we do it. So let's go. We've got 2 research points. I think the Quantum Nucleonic Core is exceptionally good, and I do like fast track. But, yeah, we're going to go with fast track. We might be able to fast track overdrive into the captain's hand next time it's the scientist's turn. And we're done. Thanks to that bonus draw, we have 6 purchasing power. So let's go ahead and secure the enriched econium. Worth and power to be had there as long as you have ingredients and or silk. Another meteoroid comes out of nowhere and crashes into our ship. Fortunately, it's the engineer's turn, and he is the man with the plan. We got lots of power, so let's go ahead and upgrade the ship. I think at the beginning, shields are more important. And later on, FTL becomes quite the thing. So this trusty wrench has not been mutated. Let's pump 4 power into it and see what there is to fix. Looks like we have 1 extra, nothing to do with. Note that the things that can break are lab stations, so you can't research for a particular character. the doors, the life support, the shields, and you can fix the draw pods. Your draw pods can break, reducing the number of cards you draw by 1 semi-permanently until repaired, which is bad. All right, he could probably use... He's got a lot of power now that we put that nucleonic core in. Let's instead take the Unomas remote so that he can give other people a draw. All right, there's that mutated upgrade. Captain's turn. You hear Vexels in the background. More meteorites striking the shields, our newly upgraded and reinforced shields. The space scale's gonna go to our discard. We've got 7 purchasing power, and it is time to engage. We can engage without adding any power, but where are we going? Oh, Captain. Let's simply use the FTL we already have. And let's explore towards our second drop-off point. And we'll just see what we encounter. Punch it. Unicron. French fried fuel. Your cook donates some old cooking grease for fuel. FTL charge refills by 2. So that fills us up. That tops us off. Now, we can choose to dock the ship. Since we charted 2 jumps, we can dock the ship now and stay here, or we can punch it again, risking another encounter and possibly better discoveries. So let's go ahead and punch it again since we got so much fuel. Urigan Jin. Accident prone. The scientist trips and spills his coffee. Discard 1 power to jump in front of the coffee, or it breaks 1 random item. Fortunately, we saved up a little bit of power to dodge nasty encounters. So, event avoided. Now we can dock the ship. Here we are. Lots of raw silk. Not so good. But, you know, power. Refined and spun silk, significantly better. And the Exchangeatron. Play to discard this and the rest of your hand. Then draw replacements for each discard. Cards that you use before you play the Exchangeatron will not be exchanged, so this is quite flexible. We're going to go ahead and grab it. Maybe the chef can pick it up on his turn. We'll take these as we have decent amounts of purchasing power, and a raw silk is still better than a last resort, so we'll just put it in there, but try not to use it. Maybe we'll discard it next time we make a jump. Lastly, we have a hall pass, and we can even give the space kale to the chef to ensure he has all the purchasing power he needs, but that'll drop us down to 3 ourselves. But we can pick up a blue meat. What is the blue meat's description? Having long suffered a bad reputation, red meat changed with the times. So, let's get down here and give this space kale, which we need for our next ingredient, to the chef. And we're done. Pick up that blue meat and pass it off to the chef. All right, chef's turn. The chef is ready. All right, bad dream. Discard 2 power or hit a space probe for 1 damage. We will take the damage. We've got plenty of shields. 3 left after that. All right, so the Devin asks what the basic game mechanics are, and I will show you. So each card has a power value that's orange and a worth value, which I sometimes call credits accidentally, that is blue. Captain says, ugh, Vexel poop. Need to get that under control before our next inspection. So, like in Dominion, the worth of each card in your hand, whether you played it or not, but as long as you didn't discard it, is totaled at the end of your turn, and you purchase from the ship supply. These are what are they called? Blueprints. But then once they're in your deck, they are fully realized. But there's actually no difference. So at the end of every turn, you must purchase at least one card here with your worth. If your worth is too low to purchase any of the available cards, or there aren't any cards available, you can always pick up a Last Resort, which is basically the crappiest card in the game. You'll note that it has 1 power, 1 worth, and no ability. Taste of the Future is one of the starter cards, and it is equivalent to that. 1 power, 1 worth, no ability. You want to winnow these out of your deck as soon as possible, so as to create a potent and a lean and mean decking machine. So the chef is particularly good at winnowing out his deck due to one of his job cards. So each of the characters has their own set of job cards that only they can do, and generally cannot be acquired by anyone else. And the chef's job card here, play to draw 2, add 1 to your hand, toss the other in your discard, or destroy it. So that lets him destroy crappy cards. He can also cook. He creates your space food, which we're going to do this turn. We're going to cook this space scale for sure. And he has a number of other cards that let him influence other decks, winnowing out other players' decks or acquiring ingredients that they have had in a couple different ways. The captain travels you around, refills your stock here. So if you don't travel, eventually you'll end up drawing lots of last resort cards and inflating your deck to worthless levels. The scientist researches new job cards for your characters, and certain ingredients can only be researched and synthesized in your lab. And the engineer takes care of the ship's damage and breaking parts and keeps the thing generally flying. Space food. Indeed. Looks like Lethe has joined us, which is exciting. He could join me in this game if he felt like it. I will let him settle in. He's had a long, hard day teaching ethics. No? Critical reasoning. Something we know nothing about here on the Galaxy Gourmet, nor do we care for. So, we could check other players' hands for space food and acquire it ourselves, but it looks like no one else has any. First things first, let us use the taste test to draw 2 cards. We will choose one to keep. I only have 1 thing to cook, so we'll take the mammon eggs. They are superior in this circumstance to the cook because that is 2 worth and 2 power, whereas the cook is 0 power and 1 worth. So we'll take the mammon eggs and we'll discard cook because cook's a really important card. You don't want to destroy it. All right, so what else? We have free sample. Play to pull a card from any player's hand into yours, then they draw one. So the way power works here, sure. For every 2 power played with this card, toss an ingredient from your hand or discard into the pot. So generally a card will say, play power alongside this card. If I play cook, then I need to play 2 power to cook something. We could throw the mammon eggs up here as they have 2 power. If they had any special abilities used when played, that would not have any effect. It is simply powering this other card's ability, and then we could cook the kale. We're probably going to do that, but let us throw out our free sample first. Okay, we can take any card that's not a job card, I think. I hesitate to click on someone's job card to find out. The X-ray Burnalizer is happy where it is. The Vexel. Unfortunately, I can't nuke the Vexel. The purchase. Lots of low purchasing power here. Choices are poor. The Vexels are like curse cards from Dominion, lowering the worth of your hand. The chef could take one for the team. He has a lot of purchasing power, so we're going to go ahead and take this for the captain. Now, then they draw a new card to replace the one we sampled. And the chef actually has, with his taste test, since he can destroy cards, he generally has a better chance of being able to get rid of the Vexel without special means. All right. What is purchasable in Zapmart and how expensive is it? Most expensive thing is 8. We can afford that right now. But we're going to cook our space kale, which is going to reduce our worth by 3. So what we're going to do is, do we have enough power? Yes. Also, this Vexel is reducing our worth by 1. So it's a crappy card with 0 power, 0 worth, basically -1 worth. The Flux Inverter lets us flip that card from 3 power to 3 energy once per turn. And then we're going to cook. The Mammon Eggs will provide the power for the cooking. Nothing inspires chef like a little bit of that. And we cook the kale, in completing half of our Asari rolls. So space kale is cooked, and the engineer is holding on to the mushrooms we need. Now our worth has been reduced to 8, exactly where we want it. Next phase, and let's pick up this Exchange-atron. It'd be nice to give to someone else, maybe. The chef generally has a really solid purchasing power. And other people need good cards too. And the captain's right here, but we'll probably leave before we're done. Sadly, every time I move a character, they become trapped in someone else's room. We need to fix that door. Is there a trusty wrench available? Sadly, no. We're not going to be able to jump next turn. That's bad news. The captain, does have an engage card. Chef, keep all recipes up here in hat. What is there to do? Okay, we can research. Do we... Okay. Overdrive and mutate together would be the safest choice. Then we don't have to research anything random. That would cost 4 power, which is exactly how much we have. But I want to use the X-ray Burnalizer to winnow out the deck. Let's peek at our next 4 draws and burn 1 to the ground. Taste the future. Goodbye. Okay, now we have 3 power left for our research. We could move to the engineer and give him stuff, but unfortunately... Alright, I guess we're just stuck here. So let's research. Submit all that. Since the captain's going to be trapped in the room, there's no point in giving her overdrive. Let's focus on the mutate. And add 1 power to one of the cards. Upgrade ship does not need more power. As it is, we can play it and it will pay for itself now. The captain. Engage is a solid one to put power in. You always need to charge the FTL. I prefer to mutate job cards since they are a bit more permanent. Flambe, none of his require power. Let's mutate engage so the captain has an easier time getting a ship around. Alright, that leaves us with nothing and makes mutate much more expensive. Probably good to invest in that early. Next phase. Unless we we can probably make it. We can probably make it. Let's see, it's gonna be 1. We're gonna purchase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna have to purchase 6 cards. Sadly, someone's gonna end up with the last resort in the best case scenario. So with 6 purchasing power, where can we throw our weight around? Let's pick up one of these spun silk. The engineer's turn. All he can do is move around. More Vexel are popping up. We really need to research the engineer's ability to exterminate Vexel. First off, we're going to upgrade the ship. We'll go with shields. Since no one's going to be moving anytime soon, let's focus on survivability. And then we could move, but there doesn't seem to be a purpose, and we could accidentally lock ourselves, or, wind out outside of a broken door. So we're done. And he will pick up Power's pretty good for him. Blue meat, it really doesn't make too much difference. Let's go with blue meat. Purchasing power is fine. He has a decent selection of power. We could get power next. All right, he's got the Vega mushrooms in his hand. Chef might want to... Uh-oh, crisis, virtual combat. A nasty computer virus has cropped up in the workshop. It's contained behind the firewall, but the chef and engineer only have 12 turns to enter its virtual world and defeat it in virtual combat before the ship takes 2 damage. So, here is the captain. We could ask around, but we can't get to the bridge. We could engage, but we can't get to the bridge. And we can't use a hall pass because we can't get to the bridge, meaning we are screwed. What can we do? 5 purchasing power. Okay, we have plenty of purchasing power for the cards we have left. Right? Yeah, 7, 5, 3. The chef can pick up the 7. The scientist can pick up, I don't know, the captain can pick up the 5. Maybe we should get that to the... Yeah, we'll see. Nothing to do. We could give a taste of the future to the chef. Let's go ahead and do that. He at least can devour it. And next phase, here at the end, let's grab raw silk. Note that our average power is kind of low, and if we have to pick up something, the raw silk will do. We were hoping to get rid of that, but since our captain got trapped in the kitchen, we're just gonna have to suck it up. All right, the chef's turn. Draw a bonus card, chef. Oh man, he has so many cards. Did we get... We really need free sample so we can steal these mushrooms and cook them. And that will finish up our first dish. Does anyone have a Vexel in hand? Because I could totally flambe it right now. Alright, the scientist will be able to repair stuff. We can destroy a card from anyone's hand. Trusty wrench, Unomas remote, taste of the future. Does the engineer need this taste of the future? Trusty wrench could use a little more power. Captain has 2 engages, 2 power. Let's go ahead and burn one of the captain's taste of the future. But first, taste test. Give me the... We'll take the flux inverter and we'll discard the cook. We're gonna flambe one of the captain's cards. Taste of the future, one of the weakest card in the game. And the captain draws a new blue meat, increasing her purchasing power a lot and making her deck just that much better. She could also give this blue meat to the chef during her turn, which would be nice. The Diploma bot, we can use that to solve this crisis. Boom, virtual combat over, Diploma bot wins. FTW. And cooking, there's nothing we can really cook. We can play this card, and now it's worth money, money, money. But I suppose that doesn't do us much good either. We could give it to the captain. You know what? So torn. If we give the flux inverter to the captain, that makes her a little more flexible. But the cook, the flux inverter is pretty good for the cook. Let's go ahead and give it to the captain. The cook ends up with a lot of expensive cards. It's nice for power for him, but eh. Alright, and there is nothing we can cook if I'm correct, yeah. We're done. Sadly, we couldn't finish things off. Since we know the cook is low on power, let us grab this refined silk with his exorbitant purchasing power. Free sample, that's what we need to get those mushrooms, but sadly, it's not to be. Scientist's turn. Corrosive sludge. We've been blindsided by someone's irresponsibly jettisoned sludge. Discard 3 power to clean it off, or take 2 damage. Now remember, when you're discarding power, that you're also discarding worth. So, and remember that you can repair shields for 1 point for 1 power on the engineer's turn. So it's better to actually take the damage if you can. And in this case, I really want to keep the scientist. I really want to use all this power. So we're going to take the damage. That's why I've been focusing on keeping our shields up. All right, we've got 6 power, 3 from this enriched econium because of the silk in our hand. So this says gains 2 power for each silk in your hand and 2 worth for each ingredient. We have no ingredients. We have 1 silk. So, foresight first. And we'll spend that. So no matter how expensive it is to actually research the card, it's only 1 point to flip them. We'll have 3 purchasing power, which means we can get 1 of the captain's card and then 1 other card. We want exterminate, pretty bad. Petri flakes, exactly what we needed. We lucked out. But I want exterminate, no, not duct tape. So Petri flakes are 2 power, 3 worth, not just for fish anymore. And then duct tape, sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Play for 3 free repair points to fix items around the ship, which is nice. We get 1 more research. Give me exterminate. Yes, exterminator. For every 1 power you play with this, destroy 1 Vexel from a random player's collection. That's a fun one to go a little bit of overkill on. Lastly, let's research. Use a spun silk for power. I want, for 2 cost, I can get exterminator and put it in the engineer's discard, so that'll come around sooner rather than later. And with the remaining 1, the only thing I can do is research overdrive, which will fill my FTL to the max and let us jump. All right, so we are done. And with our 5 purchasing, we pick up a spun silk, putting a lot of silk in the engineer scientist's deck. All right, 'tis the engineer's turn. What do we have here? The true heroes are they who would die to serve the perfect meal. True that. Okay, we're faced with a problem. We were blindsided once again by sludge, and we must discard cards or face the sludgy wrath. So we need to discard 3 power. Unfortunately, that would mean that we could make no repairs this turn. We wouldn't take damage, but no repairs. And, but our hull is irreparable. However, remember our captain is trapped, so we actually have to take the damage. And our health is reduced to 4, our shields to 0. We're going to, so we could have someone else draw a card, but we desperately need repairs. So that's what we're gonna have to do. We're just gonna focus on the repairs. Okay, first off, we need the kitchen door fixed, and then everything else goes into shields. Duct tape wouldn't be so bad, but it'll have to wait. And last resort card, here we come. Maybe we can flambe it if we get lucky. All right, there's 2 Vexels. Ugh. All right, captain's turn. Meteoroid comes out of nowhere, thankfully. We repaired the shields. Yeah. Okay, first off, The chef has a taste test, has a good chance of getting a cook. Let us give the chef one of these blue meats before we go. Maybe both blue meats? Yeah, let's actually give... You can only give 1 card per turn, but it was a very generous try. Okay, good to know. Alright, we are... She's got 1 power and 9 worth, so we can flip this flux inverter to do better than that. If we need to, we may not. Let us get the hell out of this system. We're going to engage, and we're going to use the hall pass to do so, as we can only give 1 card per turn. We really don't need to go anywhere but to the bridge. Yikes, how long has it been? How long has the parking brake been on? Nice. Okay, we should start heading back to our first delivery, marked with this first here. And I'm going to chart a long jump to do so. Punch it, Captain. Since we've already been here, we encounter nothing. You can research. Alright, so Devin asks, can you research things without the Foresight card and do all the characters draw from the same deck? And the answer is yes, you can research without Foresight, and no, every character has their own individual deck. So, what that means is you might end up researching cards that aren't all that useful to you if you're not careful, or that are useful later in the game but not earlier, not in your current moment, which can cause troubles. And since the characters draw from different decks, it means that you can have a lot of cards but then see most of them pretty regularly, that they all come around fairly often. So, let's see. 9 purchasing power. Oh no. Did we not get to stock the ship at this new place? What? That is bad news. Card dice can only flip. Okay, because the chef flipped the flux inverter and then gave it to us, we cannot flip it back. Alright, this is bad. We're going to be drawing a lot of last resorts. It's not take damage bad, but apparently we need to explore new places, or did I just forget, did I click the wrong button and not dock? Crisis. Spy games. Our ship's AI notifies us that Universal Gourmand, our sleazy competitors, are attempting to hack our systems and swipe our recipes. The chef and engineer have 12 turns to reach the kitchen, where the ship takes 2 damage. Very well. We desperately need the Vega mushroom that is in the engineer's discard pile. We can free sample and steal someone else's card, and they'll get a new card. We should grab this Vexel. Here's what we're going to do. We'll use the Exchangeatron to ditch our Vexels, and we'll use the free sample so that the engineer can swap out the Vexel for some random draw. Vexels everywhere. Cruelty-free trans fat should cost 1 money extra. So let's free sample. Give me that Vexel. He draws something else. We're gonna play a taste test because taste tests are awesome. Ooh, the Diploma Bot is exactly what we want, and we will destroy this taste of the future. The Diploma Bot will help solve this AI crisis we heard about. Boom, resolved crisis, spy games. Not today, Universal Gourmand. The chef and engineer reach the kitchen and heroically disable its Wi-Fi, severing our dastardly competitor's connection and preventing damage. This Diploma Bot has been doing work, as you may have noticed. Alright, so then we're going to play the Exchangeatron. which discards our hand and replaces those cards with other draws. Now we can flambe something. Probably want to flambe this Vexel. We can cook something. Taste test. Let's taste test first. We'll go ahead and take the... I think I can actually do more with the hall pass than anything else. Discard those mammon eggs. We definitely need to keep them around. Let's flambe the engineer's Vexel, destroying it and allowing him to draw a new card. So here the chef has given the engineer a far superior hand with a lot of power from the quantum nucleonic core. We can get our shields back online and everything else running ship shape. Now we could give this refined silk to someone. Does anyone look low on power? We can fast track a research here. The scientist can always use more power. Just ask him. And the engineer is loaded down with power. So let's hall pass to the lab and give the scientist this refined silk. Thought I misclicked for a second. Recipe tastes good. Too good. Chef setting the bar too high. Good job, chef. Viscous vengeance. And the chef has to swallow a last resort card, sadly. This is what we get for not exploring new space, apparently, or for me misclicking. I think I didn't have a choice. All right, another crisis pops up. Pylonium display is once again, Pylonium disposal is once again on the agenda. Scientists can fast track. Play this with power to unlock a lab research node, adding a new job card to someone's hand instead of anywhere else. Like a research, but better because it puts it directly into their hand, adding worth to their hand as well as the ability to use whatever card. It's the only thing the scientist can do. So let us put all of our effort into it. I'm thinking the chef needs some love. Moon dust. It's more sanitary than it sounds. So this is an artificial ingredient. It's got good power and good worth. So just a solid card to help power other cards. And the chef generally can draw so many cards and nuke their deck that I'm not sad about it. We have 5 research points left. Mutate might be a good choice, but then we couldn't spin the other ones. So we're gonna have to buy an engineer card and something else. And we're just gonna have to take our chances. Duct tape. Remember, all these cards go straight to someone's hand. Oh yeah, we already knew there was duct tape, so I suppose that was riskier than it had to be. And with 2 points left, we can choose a scientist or a captain card. Let's go with scientist. A breakthrough. All right, so let's look at this. A breakthrough. Play this to reduce any character's lab research cost by 2. That is this number. So that means the scientist needs less power to research things if you've played a breakthrough. And that is what we got. So we have breakthrough in our hand now. Let's use it. And we will use it on the scientist himself. You cannot reduce it below 1. So don't use it on, if we use it on the captain, we would have gotten less than the maximum gain from that card. I assume you can use it on mutate, but maybe not. All right. Next. Draw a crappy last resort. Okay, we desperately need to get out of here. Help me, engineer. I need you. Another Vexel pops up. Where is our exterminate card? Okay, we need 5 points to repair our shield, but all we have is upgrade and duct tape. We don't actually need all this power, sadly. So let's upgrade the ship. We'll use the Taste of the Future. I mean, sure, we could use the quantum nucleonic core, but that's overkill. We're gonna upgrade the FTL drive. Then we're gonna use duct tape To pop the shields up, 3 points. Because that's how duct tape works. Then we're done. Purchasing power, doesn't matter. Last resort cards. All because our captain went to give the cook a something and got trapped. All right, our captain draws an extra card, which is nice. All three of our engaged cards. We're gonna use Ask Around to ascertain things we might encounter. It's back. Raw nuts, not ingredient I need. And otherwise, let's research places that are kind of like on our route. Another pep talk. And technically stealing, that is a beneficial one. Okay, then we need to get out of here. We're going to engage. This raw silk is going to provide power. And 2. Oh, we needed to go 3. Okay, let's see. I really want to see if docking at a place you've already been actually gives you no benefit. It indeed does not. Fortunately-ish, we have an engage that will give us 1 power all by itself because it's been mutated. We're gonna have to deal with its back, which I can tell you I do not have the power to use. So this is gonna be troublesome, guys. It's back. The terrifying monster that lives in our vents has found its way into the hall once again. Discard 2 power to shoo it away, or we can't move for 4 turns. I hate to say it, but we've only got 1 power. Monster has descended for the vents and terrorizes the halls for 4 turns. Fortunately, we can dock, and most of the people are in the right places. I believe the chef is actually out of position. And we're gonna take all of these. There is the terrifying monster, totally worth seeing once. Scientist says, I've always been self-conscious about my tiny, tiny skull. Looks fine to me, Doc. And then with our last 2 cards, we're gonna pump up the FTL 1 and raw nuts. Yeah, let's play it safe and jump to one of these raw nut systems. The raw nuts will be in the encounter for that system, so I know nothing bad will happen to me. They're just 2 and 2. But it does let us stock up our Zap Mart a bit better. We will be needing another space scale. I believe we have none at the moment. And otherwise, 7, 6, 3, 3, 5. I think we can probably pick up this enriched Iconium. Nice flexible card there. All right, well played, Captain, well played. What do we need from you? We're gonna need blue meat to start cooking the next meal, so let's just start picking it up. Chef's turn. Man, I really got into this game. Door's busted. I don't care. There's a monster in the hallway, so. All right, the chef is unfortunately not in the kitchen. Can't do most of his stuff. Note the moon dust did go directly to our hand. So, sadly, we will just purchase something. The X-ray burnalizer seems like a fine choice. It's a trap. There's a horrible stink coming from the kitchen. The drains have all been awfully slow. Smells like it's time to empty the grease traps. Engineering captain, draw short straws. All right. Foresight and research. Hall pass is going to be worthless. Engineer says things fall apart, things get repaired. Circle of life. Foresight, let's use most. Let's look. What do we have here? I think we have 2 research points left, and it looks like the captain is the one that we can actually research something for. Backtrack. Play with 3 power to return to any previously visited planet. That's pretty good because we actually moved close to our second delivery, and that could save us some serious jumping. Alright, we uncovered the Nutri-Pill, one of those special ingredients. And let's research. Let's see what else the engineer has. Trusty Wrench, another Trusty Wrench card. As your deck gets bigger and bigger every turn, it becomes less likely you'll draw those important standard job cards that keep everything running properly. So, and then we will research for the captain this. Backtrack. It's important to, once you identify what you're going to research for, spend additional foresight looking around at other people's stuff so that you have options. Alright, next phase. Here we need, he's got 4 silk already. He probably needs some purchasing power. Let's grab this blue meat. Okay, engineer's turn. Oh, forced to discard a card. Ah. Was that my upgrade card? My trusty wrench? Well, whatever. We have nothing to do again. With our purchasing power, let's get this enriched zirconium since he has both silk and ingredients. Okay, the engineer is starting to look inefficient with 16 cards. We need to make sure he gets what he needs. Cosmic Raid. One of the lab's computers takes a few stray cosmic rays, scrambling one of our research topics. If they're all busted, take 1 damage. Now we can no longer procure new cards through research for the engineer. Alright, fortunately the hallways are ours once again. The evil creature has left us, and it is time to get a move on. We have overdrive, which will let us get around. And we can give blue meat to the chef. The captain also, yeah, sure, let's do that. So first, we're gonna overdrive. And we still need to actually cook our first meal. Let's jump here. See what the Bulwark planet has for us. Mark 1 off. You chat with the fellow captain at the local spaceport. He doesn't know anything about exotic ingredients, but he does share some interesting details about the nearby planet. Basically, the Ask Around card for free, except it only reveals 1. It's back. We all know what that does now. So let's just dock and restock the ship. Okay. Flux inverter, gamma toaster. Our purchasing power is rising. Forget the raw silk. We don't need that crappy card right now. Let's take these. Let us move here. Chef, what do you have? He's got a cook, a Vexel taste test. Give the blue meat, chef, blue meat. And we are done. The purchasing power 4, space kale is all we can afford. One of the dangers of having expensive items, you definitely need to keep building up everyone's worth, or you'll have to buy last resorts even when you do have extra cards left. Alright, the Exchange-a-tron is given to us as a bonus draw, giving the chef tons of flexibility this turn. But we need Vega mushrooms, and I think they're in the discard pile. Clearing the deck. Okay, we can't do any of that. Well, let's use the taste test. Go through our deck. We'll take the flambe, discard cook. We're gonna taste test again. We're gonna take the diploma bot and we're gonna discard the blue meat. We're gonna flambe someone's card. And I might as well be this Vexel. So let's just draw a last resort that we wish we could kill. Diploma bot needs to take care of this crisis for us. So that the engineer can focus on fixing other things besides his door, at least for now. Can't cook anything. Sadly, we do not have any of these mushrooms. Exchange-a-tron. It's gonna refill our hand with interesting things. Free sample would let us snag an ingredient. Oh, actually it would let us snag any card. Probably not a job card. We're not going to use it. The X-ray Burnalizer lets us look at our next 4 draws and destroy one. Farewell, Vexel. Burnalized. And the chef can travel, but we all know how that ends poorly. Instead, with his 11 purchasing power, let's pick up a Gamma Toaster. So this lets you burn a card to get double its worth for 1 round, and then destroy it. Just what the chef ordered. Okay, chef has a handful of ingredients. Draw pod's busted. Looks like the engineer is only going to be drawing 4 cards from now on, unless he fixes that. Fortunately, he is the fixer. Okay, we can research the total of 3, 6, 4, or 7 power. I can do 6. We can't, the engineer needs to fix this panel before we can do any research there. Let's use the Burnalizer to winnow out our deck. I'm going to burn this last resort. We're going to research, we're going to take all this. Okay, for the captain, let's skip the pill, and although that's just a solid card. Well, we can research a new chef card. Let's take a new chef card. Another flambe is nice. And then we've got 2 left. We have to spend on the scientist or not at all. We'll take whatever the scientist has. Mimicube. It's interesting. It becomes a copy of a non-job card in another player's hand when played. You can choose not to play it and save it for later, but we have a bunch of expensive cards, so we'll probably have a good one to copy. And then we have to purchase something. Enriched Econium seems like the way to go. All right, come on, first delivery. More Vexels. When will we be able to exterminate? All right, we have. We definitely need to repair stuff. Probably more than we need to upgrade anything. It's going to be 2 to repair the draw pod. We can't have the engineer's draw pod worthless. And 1 to repair the door. That is all the power we have. Let's do it. We don't want him having less cards in hand, for goodness sake, because then he won't even be able to draw the cards to repair. And we'll skip on upgrading the ship, and we'll take a spun silk. What's special about Silk? Silk is the power source that FTL drives run off of in this universe. Asteroid hits us for 2 damage. Uh-oh, things are getting bleak. We can backtrack for 3 power. We can make a bunch of short jumps on the power that we have previously gathered, so let's do so. While we search desperately for Vega mushrooms, the engineer seems loath to give up. Perhaps he's addicted. Once we make this first delivery, we will take a break to get the console games up and running if we can. Alright, new things discovered. I believe we have some space scale running around already. Let's grab the power glove, draw 2, and allows the user to hold more than we thought possible. The Unimos remote, excellent card. And we have plenty of ingredients running around. Another hall pass. Raw nuts make for good power and worth. We'll grab a hall pass to fill in the spaces. Okay, we're gonna engage again. Just hopping around. Mammon eggs. Kind of searching for more mushrooms. Let us ditch these raw nuts for an X-ray burnalizer. But that's all I think I need from here. And we're gonna jump one more time. This engage has been upgraded. We're gonna jump here just to make sure we don't encounter anything nasty, since we already have learned that raw nuts are available in the Ontarian, on planet Ontarian. Come on, mushroom. All right, there's an extra Vega mushroom, which would be real nice. We'll replace this hall pass, I think. 65577. The Aegis battery is nice as it recharges your shield whenever played. The claw is excellent. Play to pull any non-job card from your discard into your hand. Very, very useful for making cards that you have few of in your deck seem like they're still in your hand. So we're gonna ditch the hall pass, and we're gonna ditch spun silk. And the flux inverter. You can ditch as many times as you want. I'm just trying to be. We want the Vega mushroom, we want the claw, and I want the Aegis battery. Let's hope this isn't too expensive for us, but I think we'll be fine. Lastly, the captain's gonna flip this to increase its worth. Thank you, flux inverter. There's nothing more scrumptious than a perfectly balanced equation, says the scientist. And since we flipped it, we have 7 worth at the end of the turn, and the captain can pick up something expensive. Let's go with... I find the claw really useful for the captain. We could buy 2 things. But if we buy the claw, we have to take the Vega mushroom, and I actually prefer that the cook get that. So instead, we'll take either the Aegis battery or the Gamma toaster. We'll take the Aegis battery. crisis. More polonium. The scientists just will not relent. Okay, we don't have enough. We do have enough power to cook, but sadly, we still don't have the Vega mushrooms properly positioned to be cooked. So the chef is simply going to buy a bunch of stuff. What's he going to buy? He's got 12 purchasing power. We want the Vega mushrooms because he can cook from his discard. So if you've purchased a card last turn, you should be able to... Oh, no. Well, it's going to be in his deck anyway. And we've got 9 left. I think the Power Glove's so good. One of the 4-cost cards and the Power Glove. We're going to end up with the Power Glove, so that lets us draw more cards. And then the Unomos Remote will let other people draw more cards. The Claw would let us do our job stuff more. Let's take the Unomos Remote and leave the Claw for the Captain or the Engineer. All right, scientists, all hands on deck. Our Ziri navigation AI seems to think we're no longer responsible enough to pilot the ship ourselves. She's trying to permanently override our steering. It's only a matter of time before this tug-of-war flies us into a sun or something. 12 turns, everyone has to reach the bridge, or we take 4 damage. That's 3 crises going on it now. Diploma Bot, we need you. Where are you? Okay, we can fast track some research here. Unfortunately, the only thing that we know what it is anymore is the Nutri Pill. Looks like 5, 3, 2, and we can mutate for 4. We do have 6 power. I guess we're going to use it all on the fast track. Okay, we could give the Captain a solid Worth power card, but right now that's not providing what we need. The Chef, I feel like the Chef always needs some love and has been struggling. Free Sample, let us steal cards from them. That leaves us with 1 research point that we can't use. Done. And it looks like the Scientist is going to get the Claw. I can see that being good. Now our poor Engineer does not have much Worth going on. Thanks, Vexel. And everything is breaking down. Fortunately, we at least have duct tape. Let's fix his repair station and add a little on the shields. And it looks like a last resort is his to keep. The Engineer, everyone benefits from the Claw. Virtual combat, the crises are stacking up. We have 1 in every room. And it looks like this one's gonna go off, which is bad news bears. The only kind of bears around. So we can ask around. Tell us the secrets. Let's figure out what's between our 2nd and 3rd. Accident prone, skunked, location, mammon eggs. Okay, we didn't get a jump card. This is kind of why you'd want the Claw as the Captain, is because if you don't jump, everyone's deck is going to start filling up with the stupid last resort cards. And we, unfortunately, cannot jump this turn. But if we'd had a Claw, we could have pulled one of our 3 engages that we drew last turn, very unlucky, into our hands. All right, we want the X-ray Burnalizer and a Gamma Toast. Let's get the Burnalizer. All right, Chef. Another Vexel pops up in the Chef's discard. There are the Vega mushrooms. We have the free sample. We are gonna sample the Engineer's hand for this mushroom. Boom, he draws an upgrade ship. Nice. We now have the Vega mushroom. We just need to cook it let's use the power glove to reach into our deck and grab a cook. Sadly, it's not to be. We're going to use the Uno Mas remote on ourselves to try and draw a cook. Taste test also lets us draw. There is the cook we need. And we're going to discard this free sample. And then we're going to power the cook with mammon eggs. We might be able to cook other stuff. Let's see if we can get lots of cooking done here. So we're gonna cook the Vega mushrooms. Boom, in the pot. Yes, perfect. Okay, so then we can cook the blue meat that's also in our hand to start on the next ingredient. And then we wasted 2 of our cooking power, but that is fine. I wasn't sure if you could cook between meals, if you know what I mean. And quite the successful phase. Of course, cooking does reduce your worth, sometimes your power output. We'll grab that gamma toaster for the chef with his super high worth. And we are ready to deliver. Now all we have to do is make a jump. Scientist turn. Extra card drawn, very nice. Crisis failed, it's a trap, we take 2 shield damage. Note that these count down once per character, which can be kind of fast. Alright, the scientist, we have a foresight, we have a breakthrough, no other actions, so let's use breakthrough on the engineer. I think he needs some love. And then foresight, we're going to spend a lot of energy to take a look at everything that's left. Almost. Let's see what else the engineer has. Quantum nucleonic core seems like a solid one. The scientist, I think the captain needs some more love. Captain, what is this? Captain's order. Play to teleport 1 player to any room, ignoring all obstacles. They will respect your authority. That looks awesome, and we need that. Another captain's order unlocked. And let's take a look at the scientists then. Soylent Pink. It's legal as long as it's not green. Another breakthrough card. And another fast track. And lastly, let's see what the last card here is. Backtrack. Alright, there's only one more thing to foresight at all, and then we can destroy those cards. We could probably guess what it was. Let's see. If I were looking here, everyone seems to have an ingredient. We can see that. They have 2 of each other card. Overdrive, backtrack, captain's order. So we know it must be a Mimicube. So we don't actually have to foresight that. Now we can destroy foresight cards wherever they plague us. And we enjoy the taste of another last resort at the Galaxy Gourmet. Engineer's turn. Invasion. Sanus the Conqueror has his eye on this planet, and we're caught in the crossfire. We take 1 damage now, and again every 4 turns till we get out of here. This graphic is awesome. Just the little nasty things in the background. Alright, we're so close, guys. We are almost there. It's the engineer's turn. We have a trusty wrench, and we can upgrade. We're going to upgrade the ship's FTL. Note this is mutated, so it provides 1 power on its own. We're going to upgrade FTL because we can't possibly fill all the shields we currently have, and the captain is the one who spins cards to upgrade the FTL. The engineer is overworked. All these cards go in. We repair 4 things. We want all of it to go to shield since it looks pretty brutal out there. And our deck fills up with crap. Alright, Captain. There's our exterminator card. Finally. Draw pod's busted. Who's that? Looks like the engineer's draw pod is busted. He will be drawing less cards unless he fixes it on his next turn. Alright, overdrive. Thankfully, we can fully charge FTL without paying a dime. And that is exactly what we needed. And one of the reasons why we upgraded the FTL. This card will let us go all the way, I think. So let's see. Okay, that's a pep talk. That's only a good thing. 2. Been there before. Technically, stealing isn't bad. That actually recharges our accident prone. Wait. Look at me not going exactly where I need to go. First, we have to go there. All right, so let's see if we can jump, if we can make our delivery and keep going. A crowd pleaser. Our Asari rolls are a hit on Bleak. Nothing but smiling faces and full bellies as far as the eye can see. It's times like these that make all the danger and near-death experiences feel totally worth it. Now on to our second stop for today. We hear the natives on Uragan Jin are suckers for some Vega noodles. Let's not disappoint. Alright, Asari rolls delivered. We're gonna punch it to our final destination, wrap up the captain's turn, and then move on to trying to get our console games streaming live. So we will be back at 6 with an update on the console games, and hopefully we'll be playing a lot of fun stuff straight from the new Xbox One. Oh, it's back! Do we dodge its back or take the damage? We will sacrifice the raw silk 0 worth, which is perfect, to dodge that so that we can continue to move around our ship. We get an achievement for that, and this was our final destination. Indeed. Okay, we're gonna take everything they have, even though we only need 1 more Vega mushroom, and we already have it in the chef's supply. We can engage again. Do I want to go anywhere, though? Sure. Engage, taste the future. I could jump to a new place to refill cards. Yeah, we have enough shields. We won't have any power to deal with whatever we encounter here, so let's hope it's good, neutral, or just a little bit of damage. Handyman. Max the Handyman, one of your best customers, hails your ship. He'll lend you 3 repair points if you need it. And indeed, we desperately do. Let's fix the draw pod and pump the shields up 1. Thank you, Mr. Duct Tape. And we can refill what we got here. I think we have a bunch of the cooked meats. Yeah, we have 4 cooked meats currently. Or blue meats, sorry. So these are all pretty cheap. I'm gonna take the Exchangeatron. Unomas remote. And we actually do need some Vega mushrooms. We've already got the meat everywhere. Yeah, I think we're fine like this. And she will purchase with her 6 purchasing power. Unomas remote. Nice little benefit for some other team members. That's how the captain rolls. All right, it is the chef's turn. We made our first delivery, and it is time to go. He is trapped in his room where he likes to be. We can flambe all sorts of things. We can gamma toast, say the hall pass or this Vega mushroom if we wanted a lot of purchasing power. But that will have to wait, he says, attempting to leave the game and not knowing how. Leave the game. Alright guys, thank you for watching Space Food Truck. If you enjoyed it, do let me know. Sorry that took so long. Sorry I killed our long dark character at the beginning of the stream. I know, it's all my fault. And yeah, right? This is going better than my last run. My tablet, currently in the chat, is the one who suggested this game to me, and I will be forever grateful because it's exactly the kind of game I love to play. I love board games, and being able to play them online with, say, my brother, who's usually in Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia, or Evan, who lives in the inaccessible center of Philadelphia, in which I live in the suburbs, but Jesus, man. City's so big. Anyway, yeah, this is a great game, and I would love to play it with any of you guys when you have the time, and I have the time. So I'll try and arrange some community games if you want. It is $18 on Steam right now. It's been 10% off in the past, but that's it. And I think I saw a YouTube video about a free giveaway of the game. I'm going to check that out in case I can get it so I can give it to someone else. And yeah, I suggest purchasing it. It seems like a really well-balanced board game that's been digitized in exactly all the right ways. It's very clever, very fun, very entertaining. And of course, imagine playing with 4 different people who all had different ideas. That can be seriously challenging. I know they're going to put in difficulty levels sometime soon instead of having one universal difficulty level. So that is the next update, and I'm looking forward to it. So until next time, guys, remember that it's all downhill from here. And by next time, I mean 6 o'clock. We'll have an update on the console stuff. I haven't been able to test it properly with the Xbox One, but here's hoping it works. Farewell, my friends. Farewell.